Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talking Bitch. This is a podcast where the rage is real, the opinions are loud, and absolutely no one's safe from that group's chat energy. We're talking games, culture, and whatever chaos happens. I'm Austin, one half of your host. Here's Drake.
Yo, what up?
It's going to be another quick episode here. We took a week off last week. We both just didn't have a lot of time in either one of our schedules, to be honest. But we're back at it again. We're going to do some Star Wars stuff again. We're going to be ranking our movies opinions from worst to last on our individual opinions. Here's the rules. Only live action movies, no cartoons, no TV shows. Drake, why
Also,
don't you start us
also
off?
no
Oh,
Rogue
no, go
and
ahead.
Mandalorian either.
Oh yeah, no Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. Just thought that was a TV show, to be honest.
Yeah,
But
I
Drake,
mean it's yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
Drake, start us off. What's your number 11?
The worst live action movie, The Last Jedi, Episode
Oh,
8.
we do not have the same number 11.
Really?
Yeah, my number 11, Rise of the Skywalker.
You know, it was kind of back and forth between that and this. I put this one at the worst because this is the start of where it all fucking went wrong for the sequel. And mostly because it's like a 2.5 hour long movie, and almost an hour of it is fucking pointless.
Yeah,
Fucking
the
pointless.
the casino scene is still something I cannot get myself to watch. Let's go ahead and go. What's your number 10? I'm gonna guess it's Rise of the Skywalker.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Okay, my number 10 was The Last Jedi.
So it was. I mean, like I say, it was back and forth. I couldn't,
Yeah,
But yeah, I think the Last Jedi is one of the main reasons why Rise of Skywalker is as shitty as it.
yeah, I think we talked about it before. The director decisions of like switching directors in the middle of filming this trilogy truly just ruined the entire trilogy. We've
Ryan
said it.
Johnson, go fuck yourself.
We both said it before. The Force Awakens has some redeemable factors, and it was overall a fun movie.
It
And
was.
it had building blocks to it, and they ruined the entire trilogy.
Look, Force Awakens had a really good thing going on. I really like the chemistry between Poe, Finn, and Rey. And honestly, like a Finn was a great fucking character to follow. Ex stormtrooper, like trying to figure out who he is and finding himself out. That's a great fucking story. Honestly, if Finn was the main character, that would have been much better, like a movie. But no, Rey's the chosen one, whatever, blah blah blah, and then Poe disappears completely. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you guys dropped the ball on this, like majorly.
All right, what's your number 9?
Solo.
Solo. Mine is the Clone Wars.
Wait, you mean Attack of the Clones?
Oh, it might have been Attack of the Clones. Yeah, I think I just wrote the Clone Wars because I was staring at the list of movies here. Yes,
You're thinking
Attack
of
of the
the
Clones.
yeah, episode
Yeah.
2, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
Solo was a pointless movie as a whole.
Oh, I agree. It didn't do anything, in my
It
opinion.
didn't need to exist.
Like, it's of a character, yes, we would want more content of, but I think they would have been better suited putting it in 30-minute episodes than they did for a 2.5 hour movie.
Absolutely. I mean, there are certain things that you don't want to find out to keep the mystique of the character. Like we didn't have to, like see every detail about how Solo got his name. Oh, he won the Millennium Falcon from the car game, all that bullshit. Like, okay, who gives a shit? Like a lot of these things you could just left out and just kind of left it as a character's, like a like hidden background that people can just kind of like guess and come up with a more fun ideas for it.
He
But
he's
you
a
take
he's a
everything away.
he's a much more fun character to have mystery surrounding him.
Yeah.
Like Leia is a character that like because of how pivotal she kind of is to the entire Rebel history, I wouldn't mind learning more about her history. Han Solo, don't tell me anything. I like what we get from episodes 4 through 6. He's fine. He's fine there.
Like less is more. There are, times where less is more.
It's like I'm just gonna jump on that one again. Of like Leia would be an interesting character to have that solo movie about. Luke, on the other hand, would be a very boring farming movie.
Right. Because we already know everything about him up to the
Yeah,
point where he joins the rebel.
yeah, he was a farmer. He didn't do anything.
Right.
He lived on Tatooine. His father did not enjoy sand.
So then why did you choose Attack of the Clones?
I chose Attack of the Clones because this was one long diplomatic movie. There was very little action. There was very little context to help establish more of a story. I think they did a better job at telling the Star Wars story in episode 3 and episode 1. Attack of the Clones was 2.5 hours of boring ass dialogue with 5 minutes of good content. The Yoda and Dooku fight scene at the end was the only redeemable factor to that movie.
True. Which is funny because my next pick, as of number 8 now,
Yeah, number 8.
was Attack of the Clones for me as well.
You know what's really funny?
You put Solo.
I put Solo number 8. You know what's even more funny about that? I never watched Solo. Attack of the Clones, The Last Jedi, and Rise of the Skywalker were so bad to me that Solo ranks above them, a movie I have yet to see.
And no, I do agree about Attack of the Clones being boring movie. I because it actually had a lot of good parts for me. And it's like a world building. But holy shit, dialogues are so terrible. Pacing is so slow. We have to hear Anakin whining and bitching for a whole movie. And George Lucas, you're not a very good director. God damn.
What's your number 7?
Rogue One.
I think we have the same number 7 here.
You have Rogue One as well.
I have Rogue One as my number 7 movie, and this is kind of like where my list shifts from the movies I really didn't like to movies I did enjoy.
You know, when I first watched Rogue One, I was like, you know what, this is not too bad. But I was gaslighted into liking it probably because all the shitty Star Wars things I watched. It does have some good points. I like Donnie Yen, the blind ex, temple guard character.
Yeah, he was, in my opinion, him and his droid are the only good characters in the
It
entire
was not
movie.
his droid. It was the male, main dude's droid.
Those are the two only redeem. This is how much I didn't care for this movie, by the way. Those are the only redeemable characters in the entire movie. My favorite part of that movie is when they all died, and I knew I would never have to see those characters on my screen again.
That's not fair though, because there was a awesome moment, which was Vader shows up.
No, Vader shows up is always a cool moment, but before that cool moment, I got to watch an entire cast list of characters with no redeemable qualities and just honest to God spent an entire movie bitching about not wanting to be a part of this journey. Go
Je-
away.
the main character, Jen, also is a terrible fucking character. She's a bitch. They just portrayed her as a complete bitch.
Yeah, like
And
I found every character beatable except for the blind Jedi Temple Guard. It's the only one I could think of. Like he was fun to watch. He was funny. He was entertaining. He actually felt like a character somebody took time to write. Every other character was like, hey, how do we make a movie full of assholes where everybody's gonna be happy that they die at the end?
this is how much the movie is forgettable to you because you didn't even mention Donnie Yen's companion character.
No, I can't. This is a movie I've seen twice. I remember watching it the first time in theaters, just hating this movie from start to
You forgot
finish.
the guy with a heavy weapon that follows Donnie Yen.
Yeah, I had no idea. Can't even remember him. I remember watching this movie again, probably like a year or two later, because I was like, maybe I was too harsh on the movie. And then I
You
got
were not.
halfway through the movie and I was like, nah, this movie just sucks. I don't know why anybody likes this movie. I don't get at all who would appreciate a single character in this movie.
This movie exists only to bridge between the prequel and the original trilogy.
And it's
That's
like
the only reason.
it was unnecessary to have, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like we didn't need that story just to watch a bunch of assholes die on a planet, be the first ones to die to the Death Star. All right, cool. You know who else died? Everyone on Alderaan. And I cared more about them, and I didn't have a single fucking character from Alderaan in that movie except for Leia.
uh,
What's
like
your
it
number
did.
6? Sorry,
Number
continue your thought. My
no,
bad.
because Rogue One, they had such potential. They had such potential that all got wasted. Chronic got wasted. Mads Mikkelsen as a father got wasted, and Tarkin CGI Tarkin. That's
That
uh,
was the other thing. Tarkin was like rough to look at for a CGI character.
uh, my next
What's
one
your
is
no?
Episode One, Phantom Menace.
I put The Force Awakens as my number 6.
It was. I don't know why you keep doing this shit to me.
Is your number 5 The Force Awakens?
Yes,
I found okay, I'll tell you this. I found The Force Awakens to be a fun movie, like we already said. It had the building blocks to be something greater than what it was. Where it gets knocked down to 6 for me is because that's all it was is building blocks that never got built. They never got
right.
stacked. They never got moved anywhere. Everybody went into a different direction. So it's like this movie never had a good emotional payoff to it. Whereas Phantom Menace, on the other hand, to me, at least built towards something that was very fun to watch.
I agree with
Um,
you on the whole building block thing. I just put Phantom Menace below Force Awakens because Phantom Menace was more boring to watch than Force Awakens.
I can agree it was a little bit more boring to watch. There were moments in this movie that like I just found utterly entertaining. Anytime Darth Maul jumped on the screen before the
Oh yeah.
lightsaber reveal, like he was a mysterious character, he was a mysterious villain. Also, he was trying to run down baby Anakin. He had no idea who the
I
fuck that
know
kid
with
was.
a fucking bike.
He had no clue who the fuck that kid was. He was just
No,
gonna
no, no. But
he was
here's
doing it for the love of the game.
but here's the thing though. That scene is not in the original movie.
That's fine. Let it be the director's cut. At the end of the day, I watched Darth Maul almost kill a child.
This movie, I think it gets better if you watch all the deleted scenes and the extended scenes. But I put this movie below Force Awakens just because Jar Jar Binks is annoying. Pod racing, as cool as it was, did not have to be in the movie. Gungans are just fucking dumb shit. I did not enjoy Gungans.
I disagree with the pod racing. I felt like that needed to be in the movie. Strictly because if the pod racing scene wasn't in the movie, this probably would have taken Rogue One's spot for me. Because that movie would literally just be nothing but like diplomatic. We have to find this kid, and then let's fight Darth Maul. Like that's all the movie would have been. There would have been nothing kind of entertaining towards the middle to the end of the movie to actually keep you engaged in it. Um, Jar Jar, I agree, was like so. When I was a kid, Jar Jar was one of my favorite characters because I was like, he's funny. But as I grew up, I realized Jar Jar was like an unnecessary comedic relief when the droids were already the perfect comedic relief.
Exactly. Yeah, you already had droids. They were already in the movie.
Yeah, Jar Jar was just like such an unnecessary character, and he was so hated that they actually changed the plans for Jar Jar.
Yeah, they turned him into senator and made him actually serious.
Yeah, like originally
With
he
the
was
same
gonna.
fucking accent, by the way.
I know it's still funny. Like I remember reading the stories of like Jar Jar was originally supposed to become a senator, and then eventually down the line become a Sith Lord. Which I'm like, that would have been funny to see. That would have been fucking hilarious to see Jar Jar try to be a serious Sith Lord. I imagine he'd be one of the first ones dead,
I
but it'd still
mean,
be
he
hilarious to see that twist.
That's another funny thing about Jar Jar is that they don't really explain it well in the movies, but the Jar Jar is the reason why Palpatine becomes Chancellor. More reason to hate on him. And I do love the, like this theory of Jar Jar was the Sith Lord. That's hilarious, but I mean, never true. So
Yeah.
what's
I'm
your number 5 then?
My number 5 was Phantom Menace.
Why are we keep doing this? Why are we just picking the same fucking movies? Just
I
you
I
know,
don't know. I'm not trying to. Like number 6 was Force Awakens, number 5 is Phantom Menace. I'm still struggling with 4 through 1. I've actually been like kind of switching them around this entire time because I'm like, no, that one's better because of this. This one's better because of that though. And I can't decide on which one I like
okay.
the most.
I no, but I do agree with the Force Awakens. It had a lot of cool moments. I just did not like Ray as a main character. Because like I said earlier, Finn was more compelling character to me. I wanted to follow him, but they turned him into a bubbling idiot. Next movie, which pisses me off to no end. There
I,
were some
I
cool shit in there. I One of the things I never understood is how the fuck did they, come to power? Why did Kylo Ren turn to, like all that, like a mystery around the movie was cool at the time. You know what I mean?
yeah, and then 8 and 9
And,
came out and it ruined it.
and they fucking ruined it for everybody.
Uh I agree that Finn was a compelling character. I think Ray was also a compelling character and a very compelling character at the time, but then we have the luxury of hindsight and we get to go back and be like, well, she was a fucking worthless character.
Yeah,
Like to to be Palpatine's daughter and just
granddaughter.
call her a granddaughter and call herself Skywalker at the end of the movie was
What a
it's
fucking disrespect to the franchise.
yeah, like whoever wrote this movie watched Star Trek.
Oh, man, I
That's
think
what
they
I'll
were
have to say
watching.
about it.
Yeah,
Fucking
it's fun.
Battlestar Galactica. They were not watching Star Wars.
No, not at all. They didn't understand Star Wars at all.
What
Yeah, this
is your
shit pissed
number
me.
4? What's your number 4?
Episode 4, New Hope, the
Okay.
first of old Star Wars.
We finally are not going to have a flip-flop here. Mine is Return of the Jedi at number 4.
Really?
Yes.
All right, explain.
The first half of the movie was kind of boring. I didn't really care for it. The second half of the movie was probably the greatest ending to a trilogy I ever. Like a lot of the Jabba the Hutt rescuing Han Solo stuff was fun. It was entertaining, but in my opinion, it did not further the overall story of Luke becoming a Jedi. Because at that point, he was already a confident Jedi going into fight or going into attack Vader.
He was so they didn't explain this in the movie very well, but by that point, he was a Jedi master somehow.
Yeah, and like it just it felt like they needed a reason for Luke to show off that he's a Jedi,
Right.
and they just kind of wrote him into the Han Solo rescue scenes. When in reality, I think it was just
Th-
an it was on two train of thoughts. It was an excuse to show off that Luke was a Jedi in the first half of the movie, also an excuse to get Leia in
In
that
a
costume.
bikini. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The second half of the movie is still like that's where like a lot of points got knocked down for me when it comes to that movie. But the second half of the movie is still the greatest ending to any trilogy ever. Like I don't think you get a better ending to a trilogy or ending to a movie than Return of the Jedi.
I agree. The return of Vader as a Jedi. I mean, Sidious kind of died a little unceremoniously, but the build up to like Luke and Vader's were great.
I would have
Even
I would have loved to watch him ping pong off of everything, but
oh
instead
yeah,
he just fell straight down.
I know that would have been fucking great.
I think the
Uh,
other thing too is like we get the benefit of hindsight of when we go through and we get to see all of the movies 1 through 6 to see the lead up to that. It makes Sidious's death to me feel like it needed to be a bigger death as well. Like
yes, it definitely had to have a bigger moment. after watching 6 movies. But if
Yeah,
you only watch, if you watch the original first, then prequel afterwards, then yeah, you wouldn't, get it as big.
yeah.
Uh,
But you saw where I'm coming from when it comes to that, right? Like the
oh,
first half
absolutely.
kind of is just it's an unnecessary bit to make the second half make a little bit more sense. But it's like
I but
kind of
I agree with you on the first half being kind of like this could have been like a shorter in a kind of sense. But for me, I think second half had the more problem than first half.
why is that?
Ewoks.
Oh, I didn't care. The Ewoks were fun because like 4, 5, and 6 didn't have that comedic relief nearly as much as like 1, 2, and 3 had to have that comedic relief with the droids. Um, Ewoks felt like a good comedic relief. Also, nobody touches on the fact that like Ewoks ate the stormtroopers 100%. They were eating those
Oh
motherfuckers.
yeah, they were eating those guys. Yeah, for sure. No, but I get it. They needed some kind of like comedy relief or whatever. But just made the entire empire, who had supposed to be threatening to this point, look like a jobbers.
It did. And not only that, I think it made the rebels look a little bit weaker too
Yeah, because
because they
all
needed
of
to
a sudden
rely
you needed
on
this Ewoks to win this battle.
yeah.
Like everybody looked like a bunch of jobbers because of Ewok.
Uh, what's your number 3? Actually, no, go on your number 4. New Hope. Why'd you choose New Hope at number 4?
It's a great start, a great story, but that is that. It's a lot of characters kind of underdeveloped. Uh, the whole reveal of a Obi-Wan Kenobi thing was very underwhelming. By what everybody says. Like it's a great individual story if you think about it. If they just only made this movie and ended it here, I would have been, okay, this is a good story. But because it's a beginning to a trilogy or even like a hexology, it should have been it should have had more gravity to what is to come. You know what I mean? Because the movie ended in such a high, like a happy note, you cannot tell. Like this is supposed to be a trilogy.
It
And
ended on a happy note, but it also did end on the threat is still looming.
right,
Like
but
it's
they
still
weren't
there.
yeah. They don't really make, like a lot of focus on that because they kind of didn't know at the time that this movie will succeed or not to have another movie. So I get it that this was kind of like a Hail Mary at the time. Luke was very whiny. Like if you only look at Luke in the first movie, it's just like okay, this is very much teenager. Just kind of throw it into situation that he's not like supposed to. Han Solo just comes up on an asshole, which he is an asshole. But the times they spend building something up and the payoff is very underwhelming throughout the movie because I'm only looking at the movie itself. I'm not looking at the whole series. If you only look at the New Hope itself, the build up and the payoff is not matching. It's
All
a fun
right.
movie. I mean, I still like it. I still enjoy it a lot. I just think the other Star Wars movies I have on the list is better or more fun to watch.
Okay, what's your number 3 then?
The Empire Strikes Back.
Fucking A, man. We're gonna flip flop here. I have Revenge of the Sith as my number 3. My number 2 is Empire Strikes Back.
Oh man.
Uh, I mean, let's just go over both of them. Revenge of the Sith I have as number 3 just because I thought Empire Strikes Back took everything A New Hope did and made it better. They actually expanded on the story and added all of the stakes that needed to be there for the movie to work. That's honestly just why it's my number 2. I just thought it was a much better movie overall, and it helped. Like I took into a factor of like how much did this build the next movie and how much did it build the overall universe. And I think Empire Strikes Back did a better job at actually pushing forward everybody's characters and pushing forward the overall story. Revenge of the Sith, to me, when it comes to those trilogy, the sequel trilogy was the best one, hands down. It was a lot of fun. It told a perfect story. You got to actually see an adult Anakin who is still temperamental. Obviously, he killed kids, but like, yeah, to me, like 1, 2, and 3, I feel like I could interchange them anywhere. Kind of. Revenge of the Sith. I don't know if I could ever put it at number one because I just feel like there's better movies. I feel like the other two. Revenge of the Sith is still like it's a fun movie. I really
It's a
enjoyed watching it all the way through. It's the technically the birth of Darth Vader, and
right.
like on like Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. I understand those are the building blocks to get to Revenge of the Sith. But Revenge of the Sith to me was such a good movie that if you just had that on its own as the prequel to Darth Vader in A New Hope, that's a perfect movie. You almost didn't need the build up of like the relationship and everything between Anakin and Han Solo. Like you just had a perfect movie for a technically a prequel series.
Cool. I mean, you know, okay, where was it? I think Empire Strikes Back. I agree with you. It built upon what was already done with, like A New Hope. That they just kind of pushed it even further. I love the character developments between Luke, Solo, and Leia. The chemistry was great, and Empire was actual threat throughout the entire time. And the Vader's reveal to, like Luke is a great fucking moment and all that. I just, as much as I love Empire Strikes Back, I like the other movies more.
I want to touch on something really quick that you just said. The Darth Vader revealing that he's Luke's father. I don't think that's just a great movement. I think that is the defining moment of Star Wars. If that moment never happens, we don't have Star Wars today.
No, absolutely. That moment makes Star Wars what Star Wars is. That's for sure. But
Anyways,
I think Empire Strikes Back suffers a lot from the whole Yoda sequence. I get it. Yoda is supposed to be great. Like master and all that. But he just kind of comes up as a goofy old guy in the movie, and a lot of things they do in the Dagobah system is just kind of like a side quest. You know what I mean? While the
it,
important shit is going on.
I agree with you that it was kind of just like a side quest because it was also like Luke's awakening to actually becoming a Jedi and training to become one. I always took Yoda as kind of like being this goofball character as like he's been isolated for so long. He's just been on his own. Like
It's even funnier if you think about it after watching episode 3. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing here?
I treat it as like he when people are incarcerated and they're stuck in isolation for so long, they start to go a little crazy. And that's just kind of what I took Yoda as is like he's been alone for so long, he doesn't know how to act around people anymore.
But he wasn't alone though.
He was for the most part alone. Like he had to hide himself. He wasn't allowed to be Jedi Master Yoda.
No, no, I understand that, but
He had to be Puppet Master Yoda.
he was with Force Ghost of him. But he was with the Force Ghost of Obi-Wan and even Qui-Gon Jinn in the
That
extended universe. So
that would make him somebody go crazy too. Just like you're sitting there all alone talking to ghosts,
yeah, but
make someone go crazy.
but
Anyways,
I do
you had Revenge
well
of the
actually
Sith as
before we
two. Or
no,
sorry, go ahead.
Empire Strikes Back, I do think it has one of the best opening like 30 minutes of any cinema with the Battle of Hoth and everything going on.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that does definitely, like it's awesome. Like especially it kind of shows that Rebels has been picking up a lot of momentum after first, movie that they are actually they think, they can fight the Empire, and it turns out they can't because the Empire is just that fucking strong. That's a great, like subversion of the expectation.
Hmm.
Yeah. What's your number 3 again?
Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, mine was no, we're doing number 2, sorry. No.
Yeah, you're good. Mine was Empire Strikes Back.
Mine was Return of the Jedi.
All right.
I agree with you on almost everything. It's a great end to a trilogy. The build up between Luke and Vader and the Emperor was great. I just hope Emperor had a little more presence throughout the whole trilogy, other than just not the last moment of the movie, because he's such a fun character. But having him introduced only in the last movie just kind of takes a lot away from him.
It kind of
And
goes with like what we're talking about next week, which is like gaming tropes of like the main villain isn't the main villain.
right, it's like, oh, the psych. Yeah, there's a Swerve. Yeah, he's not the main guy. By the way, here's a even stronger hidden boss. And also, yeah, the whole Jabba's, like Alice thing. As much as I enjoyed that sequence, it was too long. And Boba Fett is a fucking loser and he's a jobber. I don't understand why anybody likes him.
This is a Mandalorian, man.
It's not even Mandalorian. They explained this shit in
I
the
know.
in the TV show.
What's your
Yeah,
number one movie of all?
Revenge
You have
number
Revenge of the
one.
Sith as number one.
Yep, Revenge of the Sith is number one.
I have A New
And
Hope.
really,
Yes.
I can see why. Because it's a great. Like I'm pretty sure you agree with me when I say it was a great start to a great story.
No, I agree with everything you said. I think I just take into like you said you take it as a factor of an individual movie, whereas I take it as the factor of the overall universe. Um, I don't think it gets much better than A New Hope. Without A New Hope, without those building blocks, without everything that happens in that movie, we don't get any of these other movies, which is my biggest factor into all this. Like overall, I do enjoy the movie. Um, I do enjoy all of the context. Darth Vader still looks like a badass in this. The Empire still looks like a threatening force throughout the entire movie. Except for like you mentioned the end credits or end of the movie, it's just like it's a happy ending. I think, in my opinion, to put it into wrestling terms, it's a falsie.
It is a falsy because they
Which,
didn't know at the time.
yeah, they had no idea at the time. For what, like in real life, they had no idea if they're making a second one. But in
Right.
like in universe, in the Star Wars logic, they genuinely had such a big win at the end of A New Hope that they felt like they needed to celebrate, only to get knocked back down at the beginning of Empire Strikes Back.
Yep. The whole sequence of the like uh Death Star fight, the Battle of Yavin as they call it.
Hmm.
Great fucking sequence. Even at the beginning, the opening shot of the text scroll to fucking Star Destroyer, iconic, right? It's
Yes.
amazing. But I still think compared to some of the other movies they done afterwards, because they learned their lessons and learn how to make it better storytelling, I think it does kind of fall short. It's a great fucking start. It's a great fucking story itself. I just think if you look at like overall quality of it, it it is lacking polish.
On another note, can you explain why you chose Revenge of the Sith as your number one? I know we're running out of time here, so
No, no,
let's
we're
get your
good on time.
ideas.
We're good on time.
Okay.
Uh, I'm pretty sure it's gonna sound a little contradicting to what I just said about the New Hope, but Revenge of the Sith to me is accumulation of everything that Star Wars was up to that point into one movie. It's a wonderful send off and a wonderful, beautiful period at the end. How the franchise should have ended, and the character development between Anakin and Obi Wan. It's tragic. How they ended up. At Mustafar, but they actually tell that really well. I think Lucas learned his lesson from episode 2 on how to portray moody Anakin, And in episode 3, you can actually tell Anakin is more developed character than
Mhm.
2. The action scenes are great. Um, there were a few parts where I wish they explained it better, but they kind of expanded that on like a TV shows and cartoon shows. So I will not like complain too much about it.
I would
General
still say
Grievous was
sorry, I was
go
gonna
ahead.
say Revenge of the Sith still has the best lightsaber battle to ever touch the screens, in my opinion, with Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Anakin fought, yeah, absolutely.
You were saying General Grievous? I apologize for interrupting there.
General Grievous was a cool fucking design. It was an awesome idea of a droid collecting lightsabers from the Jedi's he killed, only to get uh, only to get jobbed out by a blaster. I think that was
Which
hilarious.
which honestly, because they came out, I know we're not talking cartoons here, but if you watch the Clone Wars cartoon series, it matches General Grievous's general character to get one shot by a fucking blaster.
Yeah, by a
It
ranged
actually,
weapon. Yeah.
yeah, it actually just makes sense because he's not exactly competent. He's very scary
No.
that first time when you watch him, but he's not very
Well,
competent as a
depends on
leader
which
or as
Clone
a fighter.
Wars we're talking about because there's a 2D animation one and then 3D animation, right?
I think they retconned the 2D animation one, but they made the 3D canon. Because the
Yes.
2D one, he's definitely a menacing threat.
But at the time when the movie came out, 2D animation was the prelude. It was the, like kind of like a leading into the movie.
Uh huh.
So kind of, if you're just only looking at that, then yes, General Grievous is such a badass character in 2D animation. But yeah, I agree. In 3D animation, because they had to stretch this out to multiple seasons for like a few months of a war they did. So they had to make him very goofy and stupid. But yeah, like all of the action scenes are great. I wish they showed more of clones, but I mean that's what the Clone Wars are for. So there are definitely a lot of loopholes now because they extended, like a Disney universe. But at the
Yeah.
time, you only look at this, 6 movies as it is. I think this was a great end to a franchise.
Here, here's something I think we can both agree on. Even with Disney single-handedly ruining the Star Wars universe as we see it, even with every decision they make with the TV series and the movies, kind of just like not really, not even hitting par. Like they're just they've all seemed to go downhill. At the very least, we can appreciate the fact that in today's day and age of remakes and redos, they are not remaking Star Wars because you cannot remake this. You would never have the same emotion or feel that these movies had.
No. And next year is a 50-year anniversary of A New Hope. And I hope they do something, with it. I don't know how well they can do anything at this point.
Oh, you know we're getting an AI updated visuals of
Upscale
it.
The New Hope. Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll be done. But Star Wars has been my childhood and still is like a big part of my hobby, the things I love. I still play SWTOR for God's sake, just because I love Star Wars. I appreciate for a lot of people who felt betrayed by Disney, with their sequel trilogy and all of the TV shows they done. But at the end of the day, Star Wars embodies everything cool. And somebody even I don't remember who it was, but it was back in high school. I think one of my teachers said this that Star Wars is American mythology because every other country has their own mythologies because they have a long, like histories to pull from. Star Wars is the modern mythology that Americans have created. That it has transcended time, nationality, like geography, whatever. Star Wars has become global phenomenon, and it's because of how good it is and how much it, and people can relate to, how much people can enjoy, how much people can connect to it. this truly was and it still is a phenomenon to a point. I'm just still just pissed off at Disney and Catherine Kennedy.
I'm uh I'm imagining your high school teacher talking to a South Korean teenager and letting him know that America has a history and it's just fantasy.
It's just sci-fi. It's
Yeah,
just science fiction.
we have our thing too. Like you guys have thousands of years of history. We have fiction. I get that's gonna do it, guys. I don't know if you've gotten the gist of this, but we are fans of Star Wars. We love the games, we love the series, we love everything. I think that's why we feel so passionate about it. Uh, Drake, I think the only way we can end this is by you impersonating your teacher telling you about American history in the terms of Star Wars.
I don't think I can do that.
I think you have it in you. We need something to fade out on.
Hello, Drake. Let me tell you about American mythology called Star Wars. It's amazing. It has Jar Jar Binks in it.